Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Garage Golf Training Facility / Simulator. This is Turbo Talon Golf. My name's Shelby Iverson. I hail from northern Utah, United States of America, specifically West Haven. I just got back from the golf course. I have a head cold, so I need to get some more reps in to meet my quota. Had a pretty good round at Glen Eagle Golf Course or Golf Club in Syracuse, Utah. And then I took my mom some candy and some flowers, and here I am. Of note, for this first round, I'm gonna go back to my Mizuno Pro 221 muscle backs or blades or whatever the hell they are. That's what we're going to play today. Gorgeous clubs, bought them brand new a year or two ago. Thinking I could play blades. And I don't think I appreciated them when I had them. But let's see if we are able to at least put a round together using muscle backs or blades or whatever these are. And that's going to be 4 through pitching wedge. I, of course, have the Vokey 54-degree wedge and then a Callaway Jaws Raw 58-degree wedge, which are going to be probably doing a lot of the heavy lifting. What we'll do is hit the range real quick and see what our basic distances are for these clubs so that we don't blow the ball past the hole. And then we'll play a couple of rounds of golf. Maybe you are bored and have nothing else to do. Maybe you are hanging out with your mother, but shit's not going very well and you need something to pass the time. This is what you can do to pass the time, is watch me play simulator golf. If you want to watch me play real golf, check out my on-course videos. I posted one yesterday from Thanksgiving Point, Utah, the front nine. Very beautiful course, very hilly, very challenging course. So let's see what the pitching wedge is. Mizuno Pro 221. Blade or muscle back or whatever the hell these are. I don't know. I think they're muscle backs. That was only 73 miles an hour of swing speed, but I think it went about 115. So we are definitely lofted a lot stronger here with these. Hence the reason they only go down to 4 iron. You guys, something I've been thinking a lot about lately is how everybody is chasing a different golf game than the one they're playing. Not everybody. Most people, most golfers are chasing a different golf game than the one they're actually playing. If you're a 20 handicap, you want to be a 17 handicap. If you're a 14 handicap, you want to be a 9 handicap. If you're a 5 handicap, you want to be a scratch golfer. You know? You always got one foot in yesterday and another foot in tomorrow, and you're shitting on right now. So something that I have tried to do a little bit lately is just be appreciative of the golf game I'm playing. Be in love with the golf I'm playing right now. Not the golf I was playing yesterday, not the golf I think I'm going to play tomorrow, but be in love with my golf game as it stands right now. Enjoy where you're at. I'm a 16 handicap right now. Sometimes I show signs of being a 10 handicap, and sometimes I show signs of being a 20 handicap. Depends on the day. But what I would like to do, and I'd like to see more people do, is just be in love with the golf game you're playing today, if that makes sense. I think you'll be a lot happier. I think you'll stop buying stupid shit you don't need. Stop playing fucking Pro V1 golf balls when you got no business doing that, because you lose $5 every time a ball goes in the OB or in the bush. Try to love the golf game you are playing right now. Okay. It looks like our pitching wedge is our 120 club, which is a bit concerning. Let's see what the 7-iron is. 115, 120 club. Let's see what the 7-iron is. That was fat. We can't take that one into account. These are definitely weighted differently than my daily drivers. Daily drivers are the Ping ISIs. That was hit very cleanly. Okay, so our 7-irons are 160 carry club, it looks like. Let's hit a couple more. 155 carry. Maybe we're not too far off the mark, or maybe that was just a weird shot. Let's hit a few more. That was a bit heavy and a bit towy. Still went almost 150, 145. We're hitting 81 miles an hour of ball speed. When I'm warmed up, it can be anywhere between 80 and 100. We do want to get a good representation of how far these clubs are going to go, especially the scoring type clubs, or we will have no idea what we're doing during the round. Probably won't have much of an idea what we're doing during the round anyway. Little push. 155 again. That was 85 miles an hour of ball speed. Excuse me, club speed. I think I said ball speed last time too. Club head speed. Good strike, pushed it a little bit. 160 with 84 mile an hour. So as we get warmed up, I'm going to go ahead and say the 7-iron is going to be our 160 club. So let's just say we're one club strong based on the other set of clubs we were using, which makes perfect sense if you think about it. Not a big deal. And let's see what the 4-iron's doing. Hey, what's up, brother? Today I'm hitting the Mizuno Pro 221s. I think they're 2023 or 2024, I don't know. But these bad boys. Can you even see it? I can't see shit, so hopefully that works. Oh, there we go, that's better. I need like a feed, a monitor over here that shows my feed. So let's see what the 4-iron is. If our 7-iron's our 160 club, let's see what the 4-iron is. And oh my goodness, guys, this thing is a butter knife, looking down on it. I really had no business playing these clubs when I bought them. But I think everybody goes through a I'm good enough to play muscle backs or blades phase. That thing came in pretty hot. I don't think that was a good strike. Let's try again. But we carried 168. We'll just call it 170. That was heavy. Ball didn't even come back off the impact screen. That's how you know you hit a shitty shot. Kind of a knuckleball. We probably want this 4-iron to be carrying about 190 or 200. That was striped. That's going to be quite a long shot. There you go, 200. So these are a club strong from what we normally use. I think that's enough warm up for now. Let's go see what kind of stuff we have available. I think D-Lud's League renews on Sundays. But anyway, guys, happy Mother's Day. Tell your mother I said hello. And I do have a cold. A stupid little head cold. Okay, Hazel Rocket. No, that's a par 3 league. I don't care for them. Flying Fat Kids Crazy Fun League. Raven Golf Club at Three Peaks. We could play that. So basically last Monday's lineup. No, we'll be... doesn't D-Led renew today? Who the hell knows? So we got no pros at Charleston. Let's check that out. What is going on here? Is this another fucking par 3 league? 2,600 yard tees? All right, we'll find something to play. 5,100 yard tees? What's bogeys? There we go, 6,200 yard tees. Thursday pins, 8-foot gimmies, normal greens, normal fairways, 3,600 feet of elevation, Stimps 11, wind is calm. We're gonna turn off putting assist because I already think the simulator is way too forgiving. And let's play this. All right, guys. Mother's Day facts. Let's see here. Mother's Day is celebrated on the second Sunday of May, May 10th, 2026. Yeah, that would be this year. To honor mothers and maternal figures. A tradition formalized in the United States. Let's see here. Founder's intent. Anna Jarvis conceived the holiday in 1908. Following the 1905 death of her mother, Ann Reeves Jarvis, a peace activist who organized Mother's Day work clubs for public health. The first celebration, the first official service was held at Andrews Methodist Episcopal, I don't know what that word is, church in Grafton, West Virginia in 1908. So Mother's Day is almost 120 years old. Commercialization regret. Anna Jarvis later opposed the holiday's commercialization, holding boycotts and protesting what she felt was a loss of the day's original sentiment. Oh, imagine that, kind of like Christmas and Easter and all the other holidays. High spending. Consumers spend billions of dollars on Mother's Day with projections over $38 billion in 2026, averaging over $280 per person. Guys, I will tell you, I did not spend $280 on my mother today. She got some flowers and some apple fritter donut holes because she loves that kind of stuff. And pardon me, I'm sick. I know that's gross. I know. I get it. I get it. All right, there's some Mother's Day facts. We'll see if we can find any more, but I can't guarantee it. I don't know if there's a lot of factoids about Mother's Day. Know what I'm saying? Okay, Balsam Mountain Preserve. Let's go ahead and look up the slope and rating of Balsam Mountain Reserve. Let's open a new tab here. Balsam Mountain Preserve Golf Course. Balsam Mountain Preserve. Jesus. Golf course slope. Sloped. Balsam Mountain Preserve detailed scorecard. Shut up. Black tees. I would imagine we're playing white tees, maybe blue. Yeah, blue's closer to what we're playing. So a 148 slope, guys. So we're going to have a gay old time on this course. 55 slope is the easiest course on the planet. 155 slope is Augusta from the Masters tees. Okay? So we are a mere 7 points from this being one of the most difficult courses on the planet. If we play from the black tees, we go up to a 150, but of course we're not playing from the black tees, we're playing from the blue tees. So there you go, Balsam Mountain Preserve. Is this in Sylvia, North Carolina? And it says it's a resort. Okay, 148, guys, this is gonna be very challenging. Very challenging, but it does say, it did have a rating of only 70 or something, 70.2. So a scratch golfer I think that's what this means from what I remember reading. A scratch golfer is going to, on average, be like a shot under par. No, it'll be a shot over par because it's a par 70. Okay, guys, that's another thing of note. 6,200 yards, par 70. So you're probably used to 72, par 72s. You've got 2 fewer strokes to navigate these this course from hole 1 to hole 18. Anyway, hole 1 is a 400-yard par 4. You can see we're down about 37 yards from the tee box to the pin, and you only really need to hit like a, I don't know, 225 will get you 250. Let's hit a 5-wood, the good old stalwart 5-wood here. 5-wood got me through my round yesterday, or excuse me, the day before that at Thanksgiving Point, Utah. Again, if you're interested, you can go on to my channel and see the first 9 holes of that course, the front 9. And then I got tired of filming and only did the front 9. And then yesterday I did the editing. So if you want to, go enjoy that. That's going to be super high in the air. We'll see whatever we can get out of it. It's not even going to be in the fairway. Anyway, guys, there's some 16 handicap golf for you at its best. We've got about 170 yards into the pin. So what would be our 170-yard club with the Mizuno Pro 221 muscle backs? If we're a club strong, it's going to be about a 6-iron. So let's see if a 6-iron gets us over here. Obviously, this hole is a dogleg right, and there are bunkers protecting all parts of the green, every 180 degrees. That's going to be a good shot. It might roll up into the circle, but we typically don't have that good of luck. Looks like today we do. All right, there we go. There's the first hole. Balsam Mountain Preserve, folks. Hole 2 is a par 4 at 390 yards. It is a, I'm going to call it a dogleg right, slight dogleg right. Looks like we're going over a water hazard, and we got OB on the left and OB on the right. So what you're going to want to do here is just pick a damn spot on this first fairway and go for it. We are downhill about, let's call it 20 yards from tee box to pin, and we really only want to hit like a 260-something yard shot. Let's hit the 3-wood, and hopefully we don't hit a damn land shark this time. Where's our 3-wood? Ping G430 3-wood. Max, nothing special. I think before I was paying attention to shaft flex, so I've got a regular flex shaft. Doesn't seem to do anything too terrible to my golf game though. And we also have a 1-mile-an-hour tailwind, which will push our ball a little further than it normally would have gone. That thing was beat like it owed us money, and it is going to be through the fairway unless we get some kind of miracle bounce. That was a really, really decent shot. Nice, good, clean contact. A little bit over the top, but that's just kind of what I do here in the simulator. All right, what do we got here? We're playing about 133. We're going to be hitting out of the rough. What would my 133 club be? Let's go with 9-iron, and let's just get over near this pin. The pin's in a little son of a bitch spot where you're pretty close to the bunker and you're also pretty close to the front of the green. So let's just roast something over there with the 9-iron and see what we can get. We're maybe about right there. And guys, as always, if I think that I would have hit if I hit into the long stuff or into the forest and I think that I wouldn't have found my ball in real life, I will take a penalty stroke and drop somewhere near the rough. Not super official, but it will do for now. And that is, of course, to add more realism to the simulator, because I do not find this to be a very realistic experience, especially since I play so much golf outside. That ain't going anywhere good. We're probably in the bunker. What'd we do there? Just got no ball compression. I think my hands were behind the club head. Can't be doing that shit. All right, 58-degree wedge. Obviously, bunker shots in the simulator are quite easy. Much more difficult in real life. And now we've got a little 11-foot putt that's playing about 10 feet. It's got a tiny smidge of break. We'll see what we can do here with the old Lab DF3 putter. Again, happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. Happy Mother's Day. I am Turbo Talon Golf. Let's see if this actually does anything. I doubt it will. But it's what I do outside, so I figured I'd mimic it in here. Now we need to go like 10 feet. That ball was super hot. If we had not been into the heart of the cup, we certainly would have rolled quite a ways. Looks like you've got your normal suspects at the top of the list. This guy is playing 180, playing 40, 140. So a nasty drop, just an absolute nasty drop. 180 playing 140, a little bit of a crosswind from right to left. Let's just try to get over. So we really only need to play our geez, I'm scared to even. 180 playing 140. We could, let's schwack a 9-iron and see what happens. Because we are a club strong. Probably a normal for you guys' sets, because you guys don't play super old clubs like I do. This is probably normal lofts for you guys. That's a good shot, but it was quite short. I hate saying this, but these Mizuno Pro 221 blades, or muscle backs or whatever they are, they hit a little bit truer than my old school 1998 Ping ISIs. I'm not going to lie about that. But they're different clubs. One's a cavity back, one's a blade / muscle back. They're different clubs. They're not going to hit the same way. All right, we got 22.5 feet playing about 25.5 feet. I'm going to half-ass pretend to line my ball up like I do on the green here. There we go. We need to hit the ball like 25 feet. We're trying to be in the circle. We're not trying to be in the cup. We would love to be in the cup, but no dice. What'd I do there? Said I had a little bit of horizontal launch angle, which means I misread the putt. I would say that's nothing new. Hole number 4 at Balsam Mountain Preserve is a 460-yard par 5. So not the longest par 5, not the shortest par 5. And we need to hit 2. If you want to try to blast the ball over to the second fairway, God bless, have fun. I need to hit probably a 3-wood to get into this fairway. So let's hit the 3-wood. I would say it's relatively straight. You do have a bunch of lateral hazard, and you got OB on the right. So if you're slicing the ball on this particular day in which you play this course, maybe want to hit an iron or a wood off the tee. Let's hope I don't slice the ball. Uh-oh. I think I went over the top of that. What's it going to do to us? We're certainly not hitting it as it lies. That would be terrible. What's our next option? So our only option's to re-hit. We're just going to do the same shot. You guys, that shit happens all the time on the real golf course. Don't get too bent out of shape about it. Find your ball if you can find your ball, but don't get too bent out of shape about it. Just re-hit. That's golf. Okay, there's the shot we should have had. I'm not sure what the fuck happened on the first one, but there you go. Nestled safely into the first fairway with the 3-wood. We're good to go. Very nice shot. We've got 202 yards to go. We're already on our 4th shot. Unfortunately, we took 3 off the tee. That is just sometimes the way golf goes. But this is close enough for me to dare to try to go for it. We need to hit, I'd say, about 220 yards just to call it good to go. And I am going to see if the 5-wood can get us up there. You can see there's a little bunker protecting the front of the green. I'll see if this 5-wood can get us up there. The ball's going to want to go a little bit to the right based on the lie we're in. And we're going to get a little bit of help from the wind and a little bit of loft from the lie we're in. I need that to fade a little bit more. That was a really good shot. I'm going to say that we could probably find that ball. Have your buddies walk through that rough behind the green with you. There are enough landmarks there to say you'd probably find your ball. But that was a good shot. Let's hit the 58-degree wedge. I think if I do this, I might be able to see something. Nope. None of my buttons are doing anything here. We know we need to go 26 yards out of the deep rough, and we're going to lose about 25%. The lie is downhill 5.3 degrees, and it's to the right 6.2 degrees. So we're going to want to counter aim to the left a little bit. There we go. And then just get this ball out of here. I don't know, trying to hit maybe 30 yards. Good shot. You obviously wouldn't have it that easy on the real golf course, but there's you a bogey. We did take a penalty off the tee for the miss hit with the 3-wood. But that happens. All right, what do we got here? So we've got hole number 5. If you're a really long driver, like you can carry about 320, you can get over there. Is it worth it? I don't think so, because you're hitting over trees, you're hitting over out of bounds, and there are 2 bunkers there that are telling you that they don't think this is a great idea. But what you can do is just hit a normal ass shot instead of trying to be a fucking hero, and just hit your ball up into the fairway here, which is what we're going to do. Driver was on fire today at the golf course. Of course, it's going to leak to the right here in the simulator. I haven't quite figured out that dynamic, but that is typically what's going on. You guys, I think I just gave you some misinformation. The pin is directly in front of us. So all of that crap I just said about hitting over the OB is null and void. I don't actually know what hole that green on the left is for. So we're just hitting a straight shot. It's not a dog leg. you got inner OB on the left and regular ass OB on the right. So, pardon me. Pardon me. For some reason, my brain said that was a dog leg to the left. Good shot. Should get up in the fairway, but it might candy cane back down. No, it stayed up. 255 carry, 268 total length. In real life, it would have carried 275 and gone 310. So pretty good strike there. 155 mile an hour ball speed, which is a little higher than my average, but we always like to see that. The approach shot is kind of over the corner of a bunker, but we need to go about 51 yards. We're 5.1 degrees up and 1.2 degrees to the right. I don't know how much the 1.2 degrees to the right is going to affect the shot, but we are going to pop the ball up a little more than normal. I have the 58 degree wedge in my hand. Let's give it a little whack. Little strong there. We're coming back though. That number you can see there by the ball tracer slowly getting smaller. 8, 7, 7.5 yards. So we did get a bit of a break. You guys make sure you tell your mothers Happy Mother's Day. Give them a hug unless you're sick like me. And then just give them candy and flowers. 22 feet 7 inches playing down 6 inches, so it's going to be more like, I don't know, 16. It's bending a little bit from left to right. We'll aim over here a smidge, and then we will just try to get the ball down there without busting it off the back of the green like a bunch of rookies. So let's just hit like a little 15-foot putt. It's tracking and it should go in the hole. That's really cool. We do appreciate those birdies. But of course, I am not a birdie golfer in real life. The simulator is by and large, it's a training tool. It's not real. Your scores in the simulator are not indicative of your actual outside golf. Love it, like it, or hate it, that is the truth. What do we got going on here other than my head cold? We're 1 under after 5, 422 yard par 4 here on hole 6 at Balsam Mountain Reserve. We've got a couple of bunkers right here in the fairway landing area. You're downhill, so it's pretty easy to just blow this one through the back of the fairway and over onto the cart path, which is what I think we're gonna kind of maybe do. Let's shelf the driver and hit the 3-wood here today. We're slightly doglegging to the left, and if you're too far to the left or the right, a few yards into the trees, you're basically OB. If you're really on fire with driver and it's reliable every time, I'd say go for it. But that is, I would say, not the majority of people who are on SIGPRO. I got all of my tees, my simulator tees are all wound up here. And then of course the fairway's kind of canted to the left. So if you hit a good shot, you still might be in the left side bunker. Just hit a good shot and see where the ball goes. We are most certainly in the OB. And guys, this is fine. This happens to normal ass people every day of the week on golf courses. It's nothing to get angry about. Just take your lumps and re-hit your ball. We're gonna hit the same exact shot though, and we're gonna try to not come as over the top and get something out there that typically has kind of a fade, but for some reason it didn't today. That would normally produce a slicey fade. There you go. Little Healy son of a bitch is going to stay right up on that fairway, nice and pretty. And we got a 150-yard shot in raw. It's actually going to be more of a 140-yard shot in, maybe a little more with the wind. It's unfortunate to take 2 strokes on an OB on a par 4. You're almost certainly not recovering from it. We would basically need to dunk this shot to even get a par, which is obviously not happening statistically. So we're going to hit a 140-yard club and hope for the best. I think that's approximately the 9-iron on these ping whatever we are, Mizunos. Pro 221s. Nice and shiny. Everybody loves them. We're on a slight downhill lie and we're slightly to the left. And the wind's in our face. There's some likelihood this ball will be short based on what my spidey senses are telling me right now. And it's going to be right. What do we do there? I'm guessing that's in the bunker or close to it. What do we do there? Just a bit of a over-the-top blow there. And it didn't go far enough anyway. I don't think the 9-iron is quite our 130 club. But when you play with a different set of irons every damn time you're in the simulator, things are probably not going to go your way the majority of the time. I'd say we're doing pretty good though. 22 yards. And we're in the circle, I think for a bogey or a double. Double bogey. Yeah, guys, OB on a par 4 is going to blow your scorecard to shreds. OB on a par 3, right? This is a par 3 on hole 7. If I yank something over to the left and we're OB, we're going to be 3 off the tee on a par 3, which is scorecard suicide. Scorecard genocide, scorecard homicide. Hole number 7 is playing 203 yards raw, but I'd say we're closer to about 275. Excuse me, 175. So let's hit a 170 club. We got a little bit of wind. You can see there's a bunker over on the left. My 170 club is going to be, let's see how the 6-iron fares. That felt toey, so I'm guessing we're going to be short and right. That's not a shabby shot. Let's see if we can get up and down. And then I think the next round we'll play with the ping Caddies that I just got in the mail, wherever I put them. Yeah, I got this whole set of ping Caddies. We'll play with those next. Those were, of course, before the ping i2s. And the only one that I didn't have to re-grip, excuse me, we had almost pretty good new grips on most of them. Only I think the 1 or the 2-iron had a grip that was like OG. And I'll need to replace it because it'll just like tear my hand up. 23-yard chip shot. We want to obviously go shorter than that or we're going to blow past the pin. Not that short. A lot of turf. So not on the green on the first shot. That's not a crime. And then a shitty chip shot, also not a crime. Love the golf game you're playing right now. Be in love with the golf you're playing right now. Not what you were playing yesterday, not what you think you'll be playing tomorrow. Just be in love with the golf you're playing right now. Have a good time. Use cheap golf balls. And just go have a good time with your friends. Golf is too damn hard to be angry all the time about. That, of course, is going to be short, but we're okay. Another bogey. Shit happens. Move on with the round. Okay, we're 2 up now. We at one point in time, I think we're 2 under. This is going to be a bit of a tricky hole. You'll see here that the first fairway on this 415-yard par 4, front of it's at like 275. Excuse me, the front of it is at about 190 something, and the back of it's at about 270. Not as the crow flies, but how far you would need to hit to get the ball where you wanted it. And then there's this little area over here, which I don't know why anyone would try to hit into, although you could with a pretty good drive. You could get over there if you wanted to. I'm just aiming for this area here, because that'll leave me about maybe a pitching wedge in. So I only need to hit a 230 or so yard club. This is a tricky course, guys. I can see why the slope is so high. I can see why the slope is so high. You have got to play this course. This course is not going to take any prisoners. There's OB everywhere. I haven't seen a single flat shot yet. Okay, that's leaking right. We'll see where it ends up. That was the 5 wood. I think it's going to end up exactly where we wanted it to give me about a... no, not quite, but we'll see what we got into the pin. It's playing, let's call it 140, 125. So we only really need to hit a 120 club. That was the 5 wood, if I'm not mistaken. A 120 club could be... I think our 9 iron's pretty close to our 120 club. You can see that if we're short, we're going to be in a hazard or a bunker, and that the pin is indeed on the front of the green. We've got a little bit of wind blowing from left to right, slight downhill lie, and we're on a 1 degree to the left. Same thing, but left-right for the lie. Hopefully that kind of fades over. That was a decent strike. Little too much mustard on there. That's fine. If you guys were playing a course like this in real life and you didn't have all of these measurements and all you had was what your rangefinder was telling you, assuming you had the slope on, you'd be pretty hard pressed to, I think, score very well on this course. I would. All right, 17 yards downhill. Should have aimed a little more to the right, but that basically was the shot that I had in my mind's eye, so not bad. What do we got here? Hole number 9, so we're headed back toward the clubhouse so we can get us a hot dog and a beer or some water or whatever your mom wants, because if you're golfing today, you're probably golfing with your mom. You're on a mother-son golf outing. But this is a 388-yard par 4. It looks like we're actually going to gain some elevation, about 20 yards of elevation between us and the pin. You can see that there is OB and lateral hazards from hell to breakfast. You just kind of want to get a ball over here in the fairway. Up as far as you can, because you're not going to be blocked out by much. And I'm thinking 3 wood here may get us to where we want to go. And driver would be too much. If you could even keep it straight, I think you would end up in that ravine over there. There's a little bridge you drive over. There's a little bridge you go over to get to the green, it looks like. So let's see what the 3 wood does. Hopefully we don't yank one over like we did before, but these clubs are meant to go a certain distance. Swinging the club harder than you need to doesn't really produce much other than a greater margin of error. That was a Healy shit shot, but it's actually going to be fine. We're going to have a little longer of an approach than I wanted. Kind of not a distance I'm comfortable with. But you can see that was an over the top, the Healy son of a bitch, and we're frankly lucky to even be on the fairway. This is playing about 205, and this is a par 4. 205. Let's see if we can drop a ball onto this green with the 4-iron from the Mizuno Pro 221 set. We were hitting it okay on the driving range, but that of course is the driving range. This shot actually has consequences if I don't hit it where it needs to go. And we don't really need to be aimed to the right. We need to be aimed to the left. Right, let's call it right there. And then the lie should push us over toward the center of the green, assuming this shot's worth a shit. This thing, you guys, this thing literally looks like a butter knife from the top. It's hard to show you, but it looks like a butter knife. The 4-iron. I can't believe I ever thought I could hit these clubs. I'm not very good at this. Just look at it. There's just nothing to it. You're basically moving the ball forward with just what little mass is available here. These are crazy compared to the big, bulky cavity backs I've been playing. That's not our shot. We might be okay. But you can see that was damn near a shank, which is fine. We're playing really decent golf with clubs that I haven't used in a long time, and I am not mad about it. 48 yards to the pin. We're up a couple of yards, so let's call it 50. Ball's going to want to go a little bit to the left. 58-degree wedge. Let's see where this ends up. Let me go ahead and hit the space bar here to fast forward, because I just don't think that that's going anywhere good. And that, my friends, is why you should always check the heat map of the green you're hitting into. Get all of the information that you can get before you hit your shot. This is 49 feet playing, let's call it 50 feet playing 20, 22. So basically a 70-foot putt breaking from right to left, uphill, 70 feet by feel. That's tracking toward the hole, but it just was a smidge not strong enough. There's you another bogey. You guys, if you're only taking bogeys on a 148 slope golf course, I would consider yourselves lucky. What do we got here? Hole 10 is a 160-yard par 3. Pin is in the middle of the green, but you do have to navigate some water and a little bit of a drop off. So it's only playing about 156. I would say hit your 150 club. And don't, for the love of God, come up short. So let's hit an easy 7-iron. I know I said my 7-iron was my 160 club with this set, but we're going to hit it anyway just to ensure we clear the water. Unless I have a mishit, a shank, or a toenail or something, we should be fine. Landed a little bit past the pin, but I would say that's a good shot, especially over water. The water tends to get in people's heads for some reason, even though it's not even technically anything you need to worry about. As long as you're able to get a ball in the air, you know, regularly. 9 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times you get the ball in the air. I wouldn't say the water is going to be a huge fear for you at that point. But if you're still having trouble getting a ball in the air, as in up lofted in the air over an object, whether it be water or grass or whatever, you may want to select a set of tees where you don't hit over the water. And I know that is not good for some people's egos, but golf's going to break your ego no matter what. So you might as well just start doing it on your own and get used to it. 31 feet, playing about 21 feet. It's downhill, breaking from left to right. Just kind of funnel this over toward the hole and putt your ball and be okay with a par. That's tracking toward the hole, but looks like it took a little detour right there before the cup, and we were not able to get that birdie. All right. What other Mother's Day facts do we have? Do I still have it up? Okay. Flower power. Approximately 1/4 of all flowers purchased annually are for Mother's Day. 1/4, 25%, you guys. That is batshit crazy. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, though. Seriously, you deserve it. The most popular gifts are cards. 152 million cards are sent annually. The official flower of Mother's Day is the carnation. Pink or red for mothers still living, white for those who have passed. I did not know that. Mother's Day is the busiest day of the year for phone calls, with around 122 million calls made annually in that one day. I can't even think of the last time I talked to my mom on the phone. We usually just text now. It's a busy day for restaurants, usually the busiest day for restaurants, with millions of families dining out to celebrate Mother's Day. Isn't that sweet? Mom, worldwide. The words for mother in many languages start with M. Examples are that word in French, madre in Spanish, because they're typically based on a baby's first sounds. Alternative traditions. In parts of former Yugoslavia, children would tie up their mother on Mother's Day and she had to pay them with treats to get free. That's actually kind of cute. All right, guys, there's some more Mother's Day facts for you. Let's see if hole 11 at Balsam Mountain Preserve beats our ass like we owe it money. So you can see we are just OB everywhere, lateral hazard everywhere. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bunkers on this hole. And if you're not able to hit your ball here through Shotgun Alley and into the fairway, you are going to be in a world of hurt. So I would say this is going to be a pretty intimidating hole off the tee unless you're used to playing courses like this. If you are, more power to you. Shelby's sorry ass is just going to get down here and hit into this fairway. So I'm thinking about the 5 wood should do us. The 5 wood's been a workhorse for me both here in the sim and out on the real golf course. It is a good club. 7 wood is also a good club. But if we catch this shot off too much off the heel or off the toe, we're going to be looking probably at a 2-stroke penalty. But that is part of golf. Get used to it. It's fine. The world ain't going to end. We might be okay unless that ball trickles down into the water, which it does have a very strong chance of doing. We're going to play this one as it lies because we could see where it landed from the tee box and we have an actual reference point to go look for our ball. I realize this is pretty heavy rough, but we're going to assume that we would have found our ball and we're going to play it as it lies. Is it going to be a fun shot? No, absolutely. It is not going to be a fun shot, but we will navigate through this. We got a bunker at about the 14-yard mark. We got another bunker at about the 55-yard mark. And to get anywhere near the pin, especially out of this terrible lie, we're gonna need to hit about 130 yards of feel. I'm thinking 8 iron here just to make sure we get out. I also didn't remember these clubs feeling this good, but I don't think I was supposed to be hitting them at that point in time. I was not sufficiently good enough. But I can mostly get the ball off the face of the club at this point. Mostly. Let's see if that was enough to get out or if we're just up shit creek. We almost got that up on the green. I would say out of that side hill lie, guys, because if you think about the way you would have been standing to even hit that ball, your chances of even getting it to where we got it would probably be pretty slim. So I'm going to call that a W. Again, the simulator is really bad at conveying the difficulty of shots where you're not on perfectly flat ground. I cannot emphasize that enough. Looks like that's going to be good. It might even go in the hole, but no dice. That was a really good shot. Number 12 is a 457 yard par 5. Again, you guys, we have got hazards and OB from hell to breakfast. We need to just pick this hole apart one bite at a time. We're going to hit as far as we can into this fairway. I'm thinking 3 wood. And then if we're able to get up there successfully, we'll figure out our next shot. But you can see there's not a lot going on this hole. There are 2 bunkers, 2 or 3 different fairways that I can kind of discern. And then the pin looks like it's at the top right of the green. Let's work on the first shot first though, which is going to be off the tee, hopefully into this first fairway. Excuse me, I'm drinking soda, so I'm burpy. And on a course like this, where everything is lateral hazard or OB, and I think I said it had about a 145 slope, you should just expect to lose some golf balls and be okay with it. Just appreciate where you're at, appreciate that you're upright, appreciate that you can afford to golf, and just try to have a good time and soak in the scenery. This is going to be a hard golf course for most people. Little fader, not bad. We should be right where we want to be. And then we can start looking at what we want to do to get into the green. And since the green's not very well protected, we can think about maybe a little bit more risky shots. So this is playing 218 plus 30. So it's playing about 250. What we can do is try to take this apart a bite at a time, or we can just hit the 3 wood again. Like I said, unless this shot is severely errant, it should be somewhere near the green. So let's do 3 wood off the deck. Maybe not a shot you would typically take, because people tend to top their fairway woods off the deck, especially mid to high handicappers like myself. And that's going to be a nice little shot. It even hit the front of the green and it's trickling over toward the pin. Couldn't have asked for a better shot than that. I'd say that is a W. That is in the win column. We're putting for eagle. So unless I do something stupid, we should get a birdie here. It's got a lot of break. Just play the break. Slightly downhill. Just need to touch this ball and get it over to the pin. And for a brief second, I thought we were going to sink that for an eagle. But it is indeed a birdie. That brings us down to what, 2 over after 12? What do we got here on 13? 205 yard par 3. It is actually playing about 190. So we could probably try that 4-iron out and see if we can get it over there. I realize that thing has not been serving us very well, but now let's just aim over here somewhere safe and hit the 5-iron. Let's just aim right there and hit the 5-iron. Mizuno Pro 221 5-iron. Again, it looks like a butter knife. You can't even really see it in the damn camera view because it's so low profile. That thing is leaking. That felt really good, but it's leaking right. So we'll be over here near the rough. Valiant effort. I'm not sure why that leaked so far to the right, but your guess is as good as mine. It looked like we came over the top by a couple of degrees with a slightly open club face. So basically we swiped across the golf ball and put a bunch of side spin to the right on it. Otherwise, pretty beautiful shot. What do we got here? We're in the rough, 2 degrees, 3 degrees down, and 1.3 degrees left. So of course we're gonna need to counter aim to the right just a smidge. Because also when the ball hits the green, it's gonna wanna roll to the left. And we're downhill. We don't wanna be zooming past the hole, so I'd say try to hit, I don't know, 27-ish yards. That's not a bad shot, but it looks like it's going to run out of steam before it gets into the circle. Pretty good chance of us taking a bogey on this par 3, but I feel like that was a really good shot with the 5-iron. You've got a downhill putt, 13 feet 7 inches, playing about 11 feet 7 inches. Breaking from right to left. Just give it a little bit of room to come back toward the cup. That may not even be enough. And just hit the ball like 11 feet. Barely missed the cup there, guys. And that's going to be for bogey. Let me get something to drink. What do we got here? 550-yard par 5 is the 14th hole. There's not a lot going on here. As long as you're somewhere on the short stuff, you're probably fine. I'm thinking 3-wood up here. And then we will figure out what to do for the next shot. I don't think it's going to be like that last par 5 we just played where we're going to be able to reach in 2. But maybe I can get a hold of this 3-wood. And guys, again, the reason I'm dressed like a goofball is because I just got home from the real golf course, the one that actually matters. I am in here getting some repetitions in to meet my daily quota in my garage simulator. So welcome to the live stream. Happy Mother's Day for all of you moms out there. We love you. We appreciate all of the sacrifices you've made for us, etc., etc. So that was a really good shot, like a really good shot, and we're still 300 out, playing about 290. You really have no choice here but to hit a fairway wood or driver off the deck. Just come to peace with it. It's happening. I would rather be over there on the right by the cart path than OB. So hopefully we don't yank this son of a bitch over to the left. But like I was saying a minute ago, fairway woods off the deck are especially difficult, especially outside. Which I have just demonstrated. That was a little bit fat. and I think we're gonna be in Margaritaville having us a drink. But that's okay. 70 yards out of the bunker, I think we can manage that. What do we want to hit here? Let's hit a strong, let's hit the 54-degree Vokey. Ball's going to want to wander a little bit to the left, so aim over here to the right. And of course, bunkers in the simulator, quite easy to navigate. You just hit a decent shot and you should get out of them. There you go. A shot you probably would not make in real life unless you're someone who gets paid to golf. Now guys, I don't want to chap on the simulator like there's nothing good about it. It has no benefits, because it does. The simulator is a really good place to learn how to hit your driver, because you're typically going to be on a flat surface when you're hitting your driver, i.e. the tee box. And so it's a very good place to learn how to hit your driver, to get rid of that slice or that hook or whatever you're hitting. Maybe increase your club head speed and thus your ball speed and thus your different distance. But I don't think it is good for all things, including inflating people's egos and making them think they're much better at golf than they actually are. That being said, I need to hit about a 19-foot putt here of feel. And that looks like it might go in the hole, but the ball did not interact with the cup. There you have it. Almost a birdie. So we're 3 up after 14 holes. You guys, this would be a difficult course. I played Thanksgiving Point, Utah on Friday with my buddies Sean and Erwin and Don. And the course was like this. It wasn't quite like this. It had a lot of undulation and a lot of elevation changes. And I can tell you it was difficult, especially if you don't regularly hit your ball straight. What do we got here? I would say a tiny dog leg left. If you're too far to the left, you're going to be in this crap, but it's not calling it OB on this hole. Total distance is about 330, and we drop about 10 yards of altitude between the tee box and the pin. You can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bunkers on this hole. I think our best bet is just to be over here somewhere. If you want to try to drive the green, be my guest. I am going to hit out over here with the 3-wood and put something in the fairway so that we can start thinking about an approach shot. I'm hitting the Ping G430 Max 3-wood. It's 15 degree, lofted 15 degrees. Can I get it in the frame there? There you go. Nothing special. Golf Pride grip, regular flex 65 gram Alta CB Ping shaft. I greatly enjoy this club. It's really nice to hit. Okay, unfortunately we're going to be taking a drop because you're not going to find your ball down in that stuff. So we'll do the first sim drop of the episode here. You wouldn't hit your ball out of this stuff in real life. Anyone who says they would, I'm just going to say you're full of it and no you wouldn't. So we're going to go here, we're going to take a sim drop because it's a lateral hazard, it's not OB. And we're just going to give ourselves a shot. Right? We've got this circle around the pin. You cannot get any closer to the pin. But you can see if you wanted to in GS Pro, you could go drop over here. I don't know what's over there. You can drop in the fairway, which is not really an option you'd have on a normal golf course. So what I like to do is kind of drop somewhere that's not too forgiving, but not something that's going to keep me up at night, maybe right there. You guys, that's not where you'd really drop in real life, but the simulator is not real life. So what I've done is given myself a penalty stroke because I know that I wouldn't find my ball in that lie. The simulation software didn't do it. It was self-imposed. What do we got here? 70, pretty much flat, 70 yards out of the rough. We're 2 degrees down and 3 degrees to the left, so we're going to want to counter aim a smidge. And we know our ball is going to come out a little bit flat. It's not going to get as much loft because we're hitting downhill. Other than that, I think we should be in the ballpark unless I just straight up mishit the ball. Not a bad shot. I thought it was going to come back for a second. We had 8,500 RPM of backspin, but it did not come back. Let's hit a little chip shot with the Jaws Raw 58 degree wedge. This would be kind of a little son of a bitch of a shot. You got to really have some speed control. Kind of get the ball onto the green and let it roll into the circle by itself. You do not want to force anything here. Just give it a little bump. And that was not the outcome that I thought we were going to see, but here we are nonetheless. I thought that was kind of a meatball. It was going to be easy to just roll it into the circle, but it proved me wrong, as it often does. Downhill putt, it's showing 9 feet. It's going to play more like 7. Again, you just want to tap the ball, give it a little bit of room to break over toward the cup, and pray to SIGPRO Jesus, because we're already on our 5th shot on a par 4. So we're probably taking a dub here. And the ball did not even interact with the cup. Love it, like it, or hate it. I have been begging SIGPRO to fix that for a while now, and I just don't think that they have any interest in doing it. All they know is that they get their $250 a year subscription fee from me and thousands of other sim golfers, and that's really all they care about. Okay, guys, so number 16 is one of the few holes I've seen where we could open up with driver. It's quite downhill. Right here in this landing area over by this fairway side bunker is 40 yards down, which is insane. So let's just, let's hit a golf ball here. I'd rather be a little more over to the right. And let's kind of see what happens, because this is dangerous. This probably is not the best play I could make here. We've got to kind of assume that the ball's going to go somewhat straight, and certainly not to the left. If we're over to the left, I think we're in trouble. That might hit the cart path. Okay, it looks like it's not. Well, it did there. And then it couldn't be bothered to bounce onto the fairway, but you guys, I think that that was a good shot. 465 yard par 4, and we just got rid of about 300 of it. So we've got 145 yards into the pin, a little bit of a headwind, and we're hitting out of the rough. I would say Mizuno Pro 221 7-iron here. And you guys, hitting these muscle backs or blades or whatever they are really is not affecting my game very much. They actually feel really good. Now, am I saying if you're a high handicap golfer to go out and buy a set of blades? No, I am not. A little bit past the hole, I would say that that is a really decent shot. We might be able to chip into the circle. Now, if you can find some cheap Mizunos, like the MP60s are still kind of nice. I would not say I'm a Mizuno connoisseur, but they do hold their value well, and they are also very aesthetically pleasing golf clubs. Get in the hole. All right, that was a little too far to the right to interact with the cup, but good shot there. We're nearing the end of the round, and then we're gonna play one more round, and we're gonna switch over to some old Ping Caddie irons. What do we got here on 17? 362 yard par 4. We're about level with the green. The green's a little bit above us, but the fairway is down about 8 yards. So you're gonna hit down into a fairway, which looks like it's canted to the right, and it's gonna wanna kick your ball off. And then you are going to hit back up to an elevated green, from what I can see here. I'd like to be somewhere in this area, so I'm thinking maybe a 5 wood. If it doesn't work out, we're in a bunker. But let's hit a little 5 wood shot. I'm sure there are people that are zinging driver off of every hole here because they don't take it seriously because it's sim golf. But if that's something you would do in real life, just tell me to shut the hell up and mind my business. But you are certainly a lot more careful when you're outside and there's something at stake. Decent shot. I'd say we flirted a little too much with that edge of that dog leg, but we did not get it pregnant. There wasn't enough heavy petting. You guys, I'm really sorry. That's fucking gross, but like I keep on snorting and nothing's happening, so I got to get it out. Again, if you're just joining the live stream, happy Mother's Day. Tell your mom you love her, give her a big hug. If your mom is no longer with you, my condolences. You could go visit her gravestone or her urn or whatever, whatever is still holding her remains. Our approach shot's 107, playing about 120. I'm fairly sure at this point that the 9 iron is about our 120 club. Our lie is up, so we're gonna get a little bit of a boost, and we're 1.1 degrees to the right. Little bit of wind, a little bit of wind, a little tailwind. So let's get the ball up on the green here, preferably. That is floating right. And this not being a very receptive green, that ball is going to be off the side. No, I wouldn't say the easiest shot in the world we have here. We're right, just barely snuck it into the rough. We're 5.3 degrees up, which is going to help us get up and out. And we're a little bit to the left. In addition to that, the green is running from right to left. So we basically just need to pop one up in the air and kind of let it wander its sorry ass into the circle. Again, easier said than done. Especially if you were playing this in real life. So a little bit too much mustard. We're going to need to putt at least once. And this is a pretty rough putt. Slightly uphill, about 13 feet, and it's breaking from left to right. Just give yourself a few cups to the left and let the ball wander back to the cup. Maybe right there. And whatever you do, don't hit the ball too hard and send the ball zinging off the back of the green. I know I need to hit about a 12-footer. And hopefully that stays in the circle. We did not give it enough break. Or I pushed it. I pushed it about a half a degree. So we're 6 over after 17 on this pretty difficult course. Number 18 is a hot street banger here. 201 yard par 3. Looks like it's playing about 185, give or take. And I don't know if this is meant to be like a little fairway to lay up in. I don't think it is. Maybe it's a putting green. But we're just going to try to get the ball over into the fat part of the green here. And then 2-putt for par ideally. So 192 down 18. 192, 182, 170 something. I wouldn't say I know exactly what club's my 170 something. Let's hit a 6-iron off the tee and just see where we're at. There's bunkers on the front left and right of the green. Pins on the back left. Hopefully we can get over there without too much collateral damage and we don't land over in this stream. These downhill shots are tough, guys. A lot of calculations going on, especially if you're not using the slope function on your rangefinder. These holes can be quite challenging. That was our club, and we might have set ourselves up for a birdie, but I didn't have enough backspin. That was a really good shot. And it looks like the mini map was left big. My apologies on that. Let's shrink this sucker down. It was really big. Let's look at this putt for a little while before we knacker it. It's a slightly uphill, probably playing 9 feet and some change. Breaking from right to left. Let's try right there. You guys, I am no expert at reading greens in GS Pro. I actually feel like I'm better at reading greens in real life than I am here in the video game. But let's see if we can pop this in for birdie to go to 5 over. If not, we're okay with par golf. We only need to hit like 9 feet. Didn't give it enough break. Good round for such a difficult course. Shot a 76 on a par 70. You can see the scorecard's got probably a few more blue boxes than I would like to have on there. We're nowhere near anybody on the leaderboard, but I try to play a little bit more careful golf. Someday when my driver is, you know, going the same distance in the same direction every time, I can start trying to aim for some of those shorter greens, but that's not today. I'm just trying to really just enjoy the golf that I'm playing right now. So, not bad. Let's check out stats. I don't mind any of this. Don't care for the 2 double bogeys. Greens in regulation and fairways in regulation are up slightly from normal. 28 putts, 88 feet of putting. Longest drive was 280. Average was 250. Not bad numbers here. Let's go find something else to play. I'm going to switch from the Mizunos to some much older clubs, the Ping Cat Eyes. I'll bring those up on the screen for you now. They preceded the Ping i2s, which are arguably some of the most iconic irons that were Ping ever built. Ping Cat Eye irons. We'll see if we can find some factoids about them. Here are your images. They of course do have something that is akin to a cat's eye, right? If you can see this. You see here we got a, looks like a cat's eye, Ping eye. You can see they're not very new clubs. They are from the late 80s, maybe early 90s. We'll find all of that shit out here. Ping Cat Eye iron facts. Original Ping Eye irons, often referred to as the cat eye due to the eye-shaped cavity, were introduced in '78 and produced until the early 80s. So these clubs are much older than I thought they were. Serving as the predecessor to the famous Ping i2, introduced in '78 and remained current until the introduction of the Ping i2 in '82. These irons feature a more compact, smaller head, and they do have very small heads. Progressive offset grooves, lofts. We are going to have to go down a couple of clubs to reach the same distances we were hitting with the modern Mizuno Pro 221s. But that's what we're going to be playing with right now. Let me snag them from over here on the wall. Hopefully we've got something else we can play. I'm not seeing anything. What's the no pros? We already looked at this. I'm not playing that shit. All right, so what we're going to do is let GS Pro select a course for us based on the list of stuff we've never played. But let's get the ping cat eyes out. We don't need as many wedges because they're not lofted as strongly. We'll put the Mizunos back on the wall over here. That's going to take me just a second because I always make sure they're in order. We got a pitching wedge. There we go. Niner. And it's starting to get to where I have so many clubs that I am running out of wall space. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So I think I paid about $800 for these, and all I got was pitching wedge through 4-iron, which is fine. That's fine. But I feel like you got a lot more golf clubs with these older sets. Especially some of the older ones were, you know, one iron. Keep in mind a 1-iron is extremely difficult to hit. But 1-iron through a lob wedge. So you had the entire range of like 16-degree 1-iron through like a 58 or sometimes a 61-degree lob wedge with these older irons. So here we got the ping cat eyes. We'll scoop these up and put them in the bag. There are 100 of them. Right here, because I haven't re-gripped the 1-iron, we're going to be 2 through sand wedge. So we still will need the 58-degree wedge, but we can take the Vokey 54-degree wedge out of the bag. We'll put it over here, and we'll put these bad boys in the bag. Sand wedge, pitching wedge. Where's our niner? Niner. 8. 7. Yeah, I can count. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So we've got a lot more irons here, guys. We're all the way down through 2-iron. I don't personally find the 2-iron to be a particularly useful club. You've got to be a pretty decent ball striker to get that thing to work. But we'll use it if we can. So here's your 7. I already showed these to you, but there you go. So circa 1970 something. We featured a lot of older clubs on the channel here. Let's just see where our 7-iron is. Make sure it's about a 150 club. I featured a lot of older irons on the channel here, mostly ping. I'm a ping fanboy through and through. And they definitely sound and feel a lot different than those Mizunos do. Maybe if we didn't hit the ball on the armpit, it wouldn't sound as shitty. There's a little bit better strike. They're not as accurate, but there you go. I think our 7-iron is going to be about our 150 carry club. If we're at sea level, we may need to take some additional club on occasion. That was a little heavy. I'm guessing high 140s. Nope. Okay, let's just say the 7's our 150 club at my altitude. Let's see what the sand wedge does. what's that, 90 yards-ish. Let's hit another one just to verify the data. That felt like an armpit. Let's get another one. Hopefully we're not hitting too many armpit shots today. That would be highly tragic. Okay, that's about our 90 club. Let's hit the 2-iron and see what kind of distance we're getting with it. We'll rarely hit it off the deck, so let's use a tee here and see if I can remember how to hit a long iron. It's kind of not like riding a bike. It goes away quick. Not a great shot. The ball did not come back off the impact screen, so that's when you know it's not a very good shot. Let's try that again. You got to keep these long irons shallow and almost sweep. Sweep like you would a driver fairway would. I'm just not having any luck getting a hold of this thing. That's 7-iron distance. Let's see if we can quit dragging this thing through the goddamn turf and hit a decent ball. I'm thinking anywhere between 200, 215 for a decent ball. A little bit better strike. I don't know, 190 something. Let's see if we can hit this a little bit better, not as over the top. Slightly forward in the stance, maybe a couple of golf balls. Nice swipey shot. If your 2-iron goes that high, guys, take a mulligan. This thing's kicking my ass like I owe it money. There we go. Little bit leaky. That's where we want our 2-iron to go. I'd say we're sufficiently warmed up with these clubs. Ping Caddie irons. Circa 1978-ish-esque. Where's the 2-iron go? Right here. I have an illegal number of clubs in the bag now. All right, let's go find let's let SIGPRO rather find us a course to play. And then we'll let you get back to your regular Mother's Day activities. But what we want to do is go to play. SIGPRO, I have 2,651 courses available to me, but I am subscribed to a couple of people on Patreon that give me some extra courses. I think Tech Bud and maybe Pac-Man. And then we want to sort, not sort, quick filter, never played. So we're going to select never played. All courses on SIGPRO that have never been played, and we're going to let it select our course for us randomly. And it says Sandbox Par 3, so we don't want to do that. Let's go back and do this again. All courses never played, random. Play Railside Golf Club. Let's check out the stats here. We of course want to be as close to 6,000 yard tees as we can. Sunday pins is fine. It is actually Sunday. It's Mother's Day. Make sure to hug your mom. Auto putt random. We're going to go putt out. We will use no gimme circle. Mulligans are off. Normal greens, normal fairways. Elevation is 750 feet above sea level. So we will most certainly need to be grabbing an extra club here. And you can see that if we go to select 11 or 12 or 13 stimp, SIGPRO says you should not use these stimps on this golf course. We'll do calm wind. brake line indicator and putting assist off. And let's play Railside Golf Club. It's been selected for us by GS Pro. It is by Tech Bud, so it's going to be good. And we're playing Ping Cat Eye irons, 2 through sand wedge. Let's check out stats on this golf course. What'd I say it was called? Railway Golf Course or something? Railway Golf Club slope. Based on the most relevant search results, does this look like it's in Kenya? Railside, not railway. That's why. Railside. Railside Golf Club, Alder and Iron Restaurant. It looks like it is in Michigan. Byron Center, Michigan. Let's check it out on Blue Golf. We're of course playing white/blue tees, blue-white. I don't know, the yardages don't match up, but it's a 137 slope, so it's probably going to be challenging. And it's a par 72, and the rating is 70.5. So a scratch golfer can expect to shoot about a stroke and a half under par, which I realize you can't do on average. And then 137 slope. If 55 is the easiest course on the planet and 155 is Augusta from the Masters tees, we are at 137, so I would expect this to be a little bit challenging. Now, I don't know where the challenge will come from. What we will find out together. Make sure our graphic settings are all jacked up. So if I'm seeing this correctly, we're somewhere in Michigan. First hole only has OB on the left, and it's way over to the left. 360-yard par 4. 289. Do I dare to hit driver? Do I need to hit driver is a better question. Since we didn't hit driver very much on the last course, let's hit driver a little more on this one. And then we will hopefully get to hit the Ping Eye, Cat Eye irons quite a bit. I have a cold. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Hopefully the name of the live stream does not offend anyone. That was a terrible shot. I'm not convinced that would have done that in real life, but that was straight down the gut with a slightly closed club face off the toe. Maybe it was a toe hook, maybe it wasn't. I am going to say the launch monitor is correct because I've certainly seen that shot in real life. We only went 202 yards. That's going to happen sometimes. Just come to peace with it. And now we've got basically a 185-yard shot into the wind, out of the rough, into the pin. 185. I think that's the Ping Eye 4-iron. This sumbitch right here. I think that's what it is. I'm so bad at this, guys. I think that's what this is. We'll see. These clubs aren't very easy to hit. We got bunkers everywhere on the front of the green, right and left. Just a very unfortunate shot there. Very unfortunate shot shape as well. Not a bad shot. It felt pretty thin. It felt something. Looks like it was off the armpit. We got really lucky. That was pretty close to being a shank. 25 yards. Let's chip over. I'm going to use the 58-degree wedge and just hit a little chippy chip over to the pin. And we don't have gimme circles on, so we're going to be putting everything out. Shit the bed there. We'll get it all figured out. Swapping irons in real time. 25 feet playing 30, 32 feet. It's breaking a little bit from right to left. We'll give it a cup or two. Just want to get it up near the pin. We have no gimme circles. And we're going to be putting a lot more than we did on the previous round because I turned that gimme circle shit off. There you go. So a score that is representative of something you would get if you hit a toe hook off the tee. Let's see what the next hole has in store for us. 387 yard par 4. We have a split fairway. I don't really think you would use this fairway. Maybe that's for the ladies or seniors, maybe juniors. But we shouldn't have any trouble getting over onto this fairway, assuming I don't hit another nasty toe hook. You've got OB on the left, not a whole lot going on here. And then we will see what's going on with the approach shot. But let's try to not hit another toe hook. I hit one of those like maybe once a month or something. High fade. We're going to be in the rough, but we should still have a look at the green. And honestly, guys, I don't spend a lot of time on fairways in the outside golf course either, unless they're meatballs and the fairway's like 80 yards wide. What do we got here? What club are we hitting? We need to go 145-ish, plus we're out of the rough. I'm thinking a 7-iron might be short, but I'm scared to hit a 6-iron. Let's go 6-iron just to make sure we get there. And see how this thing goes. We're still kind of adapting to it. Pretty well struck ball. And we should have hit the 7-iron. It's all good, baby. It's all good. We know now. We know now. Every shot you take is you get a little smarter. But most idiots aren't changing from blades to vintage irons in the same episode, so. We just want to get as close to the pin as we can. Again, we are not using gimme circles. I think that's one of the things that makes sim golf too easy, among many things. All right, we got a 6.5 foot putt. It's breaking left or right a little bit. I think we might be able to get the ball in if we aim a couple of cups to the left, but let's find out. That ball was hot. That ball did not want to go in that cup. We're glad it did, though. Number 3 is a 175-yard par 3, pretty flat course. Kind of funny here. This par 3's got a fairway, then some rough, then the green. I wouldn't say it's the first time I've ever seen it. You got a bunker protecting the left side, and that's because people are going to be aiming to the left because they don't want to be in the water on the right. So I'm thinking we hit a little shot right here. Looks like 168, and we got a bit of a tailwind. Let's try the 6-iron again, but this time off a tee. I don't know if that's enough club. And these feel a lot different than those Mizunos did, obviously. We are leaking a little bit to the right. We might be okay. Looks like we're on the fringe. Some people call it the skirt. Looks like we're actually on the fairway. Let's practice our bump and runs here. Pitching wedge bump and run. The ball's going to want to go to the right. Give yourself a little bit to the left, and let's just do a little pitching wedge bump and run. There was a little bit of bump and a little bit of run. I wouldn't say it was my best work. Let's see if we can putt. I don't recommend swapping irons all the time, but if you have fun doing it and it doesn't bother you and you're okay with the result, experiment. Don't need to marry the first girl you date. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're a Ping guy, maybe you're a Taylormade guy, maybe you're a PXG guy, maybe you're a Mizuno guy. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that if you never try anything new. And trying new stuff doesn't need to be expensive. Hop your happy ass on eBay or on the Facebook Marketplace or Second Swing Golf and find yourself some affordable clubs. Find yourself something that's a couple of generations old. Because you do not need to have the newest, hottest stuff to have a good time. All right, end rant. Number 4 is a 375-yard par 4. Tiny little green, and there's a bunch of bunkers protecting it. I'd say if you get a pretty good swing, you can get up in this area, but we are in Michigan. We might be able to sneak something over here. I just don't see myself getting 275 yards of carry in Michigan. So let's go over here and play a little bit smarter shot instead. I'm thinking 5 wood. And guys, if you want a spray driver, go for it. I do not care. That is not a bad shot. I thought it would go a little bit further. So it's gonna make us hit something. I think we decided the 7-iron was about our 150 club, but that's at my altitude. We've got a bit of a tailwind and we're actually playing about 151 yards to the pin. Pin appears to be in the center of the green-ish, maybe a little bit toward the front. So maybe we can get up over there. 1 degree up in the lie and then 0.1 degrees right, which is pretty negligible. We do have some wind blowing at our back and from left to right. So let's see what we can do here. That's going to go right, probably near that bunker. Nope, probably in the bunker. You guys, I don't know what it is. I don't see that shot shape outside very much, but GS-Pro, not GS-Pro, my launch monitor seems to think I'm over the top always, constantly. And then that was a bit of a coast-to-coast shot. Let's look at the numbers. That was a greenside bunker, so we should have lost approximately 50% speed. Should have. It's not a universal law. So we had 25 yards of carry versus 13 yards of carry in the software, which I'm not a mathematician, but I think that maths pretty well. 50% speed loss out of a greenside bunker. I'm not mad at it. All right, let's lag this ball over to the pin and get out of here with our bogey, hopefully. 13 feet, playing about 11 feet. Just lag it over to the pin. There you go. That's probably what's going to happen in real life unless you're some kind of putting prodigy. And then get out of here with your bogey. Bada bing, bada boom. Much closer to real life than you would be if you were using those massive gimme circles. What do we got here for 5? 300-yard par 4. There's certainly somebody who can drive this green at almost sea level. It is not me. I'm still going to hit driver, but I don't know where it's going to go. Not a lot going on. You got a couple of bunkers protecting the bottom left and bottom right. It's kind of a triangle-shaped green. And of course your pin is over there by that bunker on the left. There you go. Let's see if we can get the driver over there. Hopefully we don't hit another tow hook because we got OB on the left. Those are pretty rare. Those are pretty damn rare, thankfully. There's a little leaker. It's probably not going to be in the fairway, but that is a damn swell shot. Let's see if we can get up and down. 35 yards. Let's hit the 58-degree wedge and see if we can't pop something up in the air. Hopefully we don't pop something over into the bunker. Probably not close enough to sink that in one putt, but we will give it our best shot. We always do here on the channel. And by we, I mean me. There is no we. I am a one-man wrecking crew. I shoot all the footage, I edit all of it. I don't know why you would want to bring another human being into the mix. Social media content is by and large not great. I would say that that was a piss poor excuse for a putt. Not even really sure what happened there. Let's see if we can hit this 4-footer. Oh shit. Golf is strange. So many physics involved. You use a different club for every shot. It's just a strange game. 553-yard par 5 here on the 6th hole. You can see we need to zoom in here just to see anything. Very tiny fairway, very narrow. I think we can get up into this area, but getting it on the fairway is going to be another task in itself. We're just going to hit driver. And then we'll worry about the next shot after that. Maybe it's a nice little fairway wood into the green, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Good shot. It felt solid. It's going to be a few yards off the right side of the fairway though, which is just fine. And then we've obviously got a nautical mile into the pin. Not much going on in the chat here. I don't expect that there would be. It's Mother's Day. You guys probably should be hanging out with your mothers. What do I have in my hand here? A 3 wood. So we're just going to blast a 3 wood up here. We're going to take a little bit of penalty out of this rough, obviously from GS Pro. And this shot is easier to hit in the simulator than it ever would be outside. Good chance of topping this ball. Instead, I have hit an off-center shot that looks like it's still going to land in the fairway. We got pretty lucky. What do we got? About 75 yards in. What's my 75-yard club, did I say? Did I say the sand wedge was my 75-yard club? I think so. Maybe a little longer. You've got a green that's protected on the left and the right by little bunkers. And then the pin is kind of on the upper right side of the green. It's mostly an oval-shaped green. Maybe jelly bean shaped. Whatever shape you want it to be, that's the shape of the green. But let's see if we can get anywhere near the pin, because we still got to putt until we putt out. There are no gimmies. Terrible shot. I think that was armpit. We might be putting. Pretty abrupt lines here between the green and the fairway. I don't really have a problem with it necessarily, but I think this might be an older course, because you'd think the graphics would be a little more updated, assuming that we've got them all cranked up all the way. It doesn't do anything when I turn on 3D grass. In real life, I would putt this, so that's what we're gonna do. No, let's not putt it. Let's do a little pitching wedge bump and run. It's gonna come out of the lie left. Let's aim a little bit to the right and see if we can't get something over there. Oh! I'd say putts fall when they hit the pin like that more frequently outdoors than they do in the simulator. So the simulator is not 100% bad. There's a par. Hey Mick, good day to you, sir. Happy Mother's Day. I know you're not anybody's mom, but hopefully you've said hi to your mom or told her you love her or whatever. We're having a Mother's Day broadcast here because I need to get some more reps in. I went golfing this morning, but I still need more reps. Hope you're doing all right, my friend. Hole 7, 151 yard par 3. Let's hit the 7-iron with the ping eyes, because we are not too far above sea level. That is leaking right, and it was weak, so I'm wondering. Okay, we did clear the bunker. We're still like 35 feet from the goddamn hole though. We're braking hard from right to left. It says it's a little bit uphill. Let's just aim over here and let the ball wander back toward the hole. Let's try to hit like a 32, 34 footer. Piss poor excuse for a putt once again. If you guys remember from the beginning of this part of the live stream, I had to select 10 stimp because 11, 12, and 13 had the little exclamation marks next to them. And it takes time to adjust to those stimp changes. And you can see that it's costing me dearly. We're taking a bogey here, more likely, hopefully not a double. There you go. Little tap in. And we're playing bogey golf just like I do outside. I'll tell you what, I can't wait to play that green. Look at that son of a bitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bunkers covering that green. All right. Number 8's a 370 yard par 4. We are just gonna blast driver up and worry about the approach shot after that. We're spraying and praying, if you will. Not a whole lot going on this hole. Slightly dog legs to the left, I would say, slightly. You've got a fairway side bunker on the right at about the 225 mark. And that's really the only bunkers that are even remotely worth talking about. No bunkers near the green. And everything seems to be leaking to the right today. We'll try to maybe keep our back toward the target a little bit longer. But my shots were going dead straight out on the golf course today, so that's where it matters. Mick says cheers. He's heading to Fiji for 10 days. Good Lord. Hell yeah, dude. And we'll be going phone free for 10 days. Looking forward to no work, staying above ground. Hell yeah, dude. He's headed to Fiji for 10 days today. I've never been to Fiji. I hope you have a great time. I hope you're having an awesome Mother's Day. Let's hit a 9-iron out of what is supposed to be rough, but just as kind of some shitty looking, okay, there we go. 3D grass makes it a little bit better. So I'm gonna, now that I know we're in the rough, I'm gonna hit an 8 instead of a 9. Ping. Again, we're playing the Ping Caddies from 1978. There you go. It says they're blue dot, but they're so old you don't know what people have done to them over the years. The only way to know is to throw them on the bending machine and actually see what their lie and loft are in real life. Okay, what was that? Well, is what it is, folks. Sometimes you're just going to hit shitty shots. You need to be okay with it. Sorry, guys, I'm sick. I know that's disgusting. But you got to blow your nose. It's a natural human thing to blow your nose. What do we got here? We're playing about 31 yards up out of rough. The lie's up. It's mostly flat left to right. And we've got a lot of green to deal with. There's no reason to screw this up too bad, but we'll see what kind of trouble I can get myself into. I thought for a second that was going to go in, but that was a pipe dream. Also, did you guys know the origin of the phrase pipe dream is something to do with when from the opium dens? Because you see those really old pictures of people just like laying around all fucked up on opium. I did not know that that's what that originated from. That's just what the internet told me. If I am wrong, feel free to let me know. Oh, Mick says Fiji's 4 hours away from Australia. Mick says he shot his first gun today since he left the Army. He misses it. What kind of gun did you shoot? What do we got here, boys and girls? Hole 9, 486-yard par 5. Not too long, not too short. It's just right. We got some water up here, but I am not hitting anywhere near that water. I'm probably going to be about right here, which is actually not the right fairway, because if you look, I'm going to hit right through a tree. So the water's to the left. If I hit another toe hook, we're going to be in it, but there you go. I've actually seen people hit onto the wrong fairway in real life outside. I'm like, hey, dude. It wasn't just like a hook or a slice. Like, they legit thought that that was the fairway for the hole we were on. It obviously happens very seldomly. And there's usually something letting you know what direction you're supposed to hit. Okay, guys, there's another one going right. That's just what we're doing today. It's just rough. It's just rough hitting over a tree. So that does complicate things a little. But it's getting to the point where I kind of like shots like this because it forces you to think. Should I hit through this window? Probably not. How far do I need to go? What options do I even have? In this scenario, I think we might be able to get a 6-iron over that tree. So let's do that. And if we hit the tree, I don't think there's too much ramification from hitting the tree. And we might be in the fairway. That shot might have actually done what I wanted it to do. But you can see it was almost a shank. And I'd take almost a shank 7 days out of the week before I took an actual shank. Let's hit a pitching wedge. You can see this green is covered on the front left and front right. But since we kind of want to land right here in the fat part, I don't see it being a huge problem unless I just straight up miss-hit the ball. So we should be on in 3, but I am having some trouble striking these old irons after going from the Mizuno 221s. This cat shot an SR-98 sniper rifle. Dude, you know we got to look that up. The wife and I do travel. We went to Scotland last May. Some Americans do stay in America. You got to realize that America is quite large. Some people outside of America talk shit on Americans that don't ever leave America, but you've also got to remember how large America is. But yes, we do travel. It wasn't only a few years ago that we could afford to travel. Because before that I was in the U.S. Air Force and I was an enlisted person, so I wouldn't say I made a ton of money. But I'm retired now and I'm working on a second career, so we've got a little bit more money to mess with. Oh, buddy. That is a nice gun, dude. I like the butt stock. Were you a sniper in the Army? Are you allowed to tell me that? That is a really cool gun. So I'm obviously going to have the Federal Bureau of Investigations kick my door down. But if I want to buy one of these, what am I looking at? I don't want a scale model, I want the real thing. Why would I want a scale model? Can you buy an SV98? Why does it don't... So I can't buy one or what? Gun broker. Oh, come on. What were you verifying? No. Dude. Go back. Are you 18? Yes. I'm way older than that. Uzi, SV98, search. Is that a gun that only the military's authorized to carry? Because I am not having any luck even finding where to buy one or how much they are. Mick says Scotland is nice. Yes, it was really nice. We quite enjoyed ourselves. Wouldn't be cheap, America to Scotland for the flight. Yeah, we traveled through Delta Airlines and then we got on... What's the European airline? I can't remember. I have the memory of a goldfish. But yeah, dude, we spent quite a bit of money just on airfare. And I think it was like a 7 or 8 hour flight. What are we doing here? Pitching wedge? So Mick was a military sniper, which is fucking dope. Okay, so the gun, only the Australian Army have it. There's some guns that a regular civilian probably should not get their hands on. I can agree with that. You guys, that is a good shot if it is the correct distance. I like that shot. You can say you don't like that shot. It was a good shot. Quit being a dick. Mick, hopefully you weren't shooting people. And if you were, I don't want to know about it. Hopefully they were bad people. We might be able to putt that in one putt. You guys, I am sick, and this is the third round of golf I've played today. 2 in the simulator, 1 outside. And so I'm starting to lose steam. We're halfway through the round, and hopefully the shots don't get too errant. But when you start getting tired and you start getting tight, your shots start to wander off from where you're trying to get them. Hole number 10 is a 330-yard par 4. I'm thinking we hit driver up into this region here. There's a reason you cannot find the SV98 online. You would have to buy it through the dark web, through the black market. All right, we waggled our ball off the tee. That does not count for a stroke. That is going to be a Healy fade. I think we might be exactly where we want to be, though. I don't hate it. Gall darn it. All right, guys, 79 yards is going to be this pitching wedge, I think. We've got the pins on the right, but there's also a big bunker on the right that I would rather not be in. I think we're going to be fine, unless I just straight up mishit this sand wedge. Oh, I didn't show you the sand wedge. I probably already shown it to you, but there you go. Ping I from 78. That should be a decent shot. It's drawing though, unfortunately. Not bad. It came back a little too. That's pretty dope. 10,000 RPM of backspin from that old ass club. What do we got here? 25 feet, playing 27 feet. Breaking a little bit left or right. We'll put it right there. Let the ball go over to the pin and hit us a little 26, 27 foot putt. We're putting. I don't love that shot. We did all right though. We'll aim to the right side of the cup. It's playing about 5 feet. There's your par. What are we at now? 3 over after 10. I would be ecstatic if I was 3 over after 10 holes. What do we got here? You guys, Mick's going to Fiji. That's what's important. It's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day and Mick's going to Fiji. That's what's important. Let's hit over these bunkers and trees like idiots. We probably got to carry about 260 to even not regret our lives. But let's do that. This is a strange little hole that kind of S-curves around. You got 2 bunkers on the right side of the fairway at about the 240 mark. And then you've got 2 bunkers protecting the right side of the green. Looks like a little upside down heart. The green does. But let's see if we can actually pull this shot off. Mick says he did 3 tours in Afghanistan, 2 in Iraq, and 1 in Chad for peacekeeping for 3 months. Mick, I've said this before, but thank you for your service. there's a lot of stuff that couldn't happen without the men and women of the militaries across the world. I know there's some people out there that think that we don't need a military and that we can avoid war. I just don't think that that's in the cards for humanity, honestly. But I appreciate your service. Guys, that's not going where we wanted it to. That shot felt really crummy. Hopefully we move enough to not be blocked out. Okay, we're good. That shot felt really shitty. Mick says, why did we go to Scotland? I think because my wife had already been to Europe a couple of times. And we just kind of threw a dart at a dartboard and said, let's go to Scotland. I don't think there was a lot of rhyme or reason to it, honestly. But it was quite awesome. We went to St. Andrews. I was able to see the old course. I was not able to play on it, unfortunately. We stayed in Glasgow and we did some sightseeing, and we stayed over. It's been a year. I can't remember everywhere we stayed. Loch Lomond, I think. Get up there. I think we did 3 or 4 days in Edinburgh. It was just nice. It was nice to not be in America. Americans are dicks. I remember the first night we were there, my wife and I went to a pub. And there were these young guys, this group of young men that were getting pretty tuned up. They were pretty drunk. And in America, when a group of young men get drunk, it's inevitable that a fight is going to break out. We're stupid. And I was like, a fight's going to break out any minute now. These guys are getting drunker and drunker and drunker. But you know what? Nothing happened. There was no fight. There was no brawl. There was no throwing of fists. Those guys just continued to have a good-ass time. Nothing happened. I was positive that a fight was going to break out, because that's usually what happens over here in America when you have a group of young men that are getting pretty drunk. So I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, that was a good putt. Little birdie. So we went to that pub a couple of times. We had a pretty good time, man. Mick says, thanks for my service. Yes, sir. I didn't do the stuff you did, though. My life was rarely put in harm's way when I was in the military. And Mick said, was I able to understand the accent okay? Yeah, we didn't really have a problem with it. There were some people we talked to that had a lot thicker accents than others did, but we could mostly understand the accent. It took a while to get a hold, understand the dialect, like what different stuff meant. So if I was walking down the street and I said, how's it going to somebody, that's kind of a typical generic American thing to say. They would say hiya, like hiya. Like hi, hey, hi, how are you doing? But it was like hiya. And quickly I learned to stop saying how are you doing and say hiya. But yeah, mostly the dialect, not really the accent. All right, guys, hole 12 is a 330-yard par 4. I don't hit the ball this far. I ain't trying to carry 280 at sea level. Well, in Michigan, USA. So we're just going to hit over here. I'm thinking like a 5-wood. And hopefully we don't pull something over into the water. We'll push. We'll try to keep the face closed here. Well, that's not going in the water. You guys, that was a terrible Healy little bastard. I'm getting tired, and I've been playing too much golf, but I should be able to finish the round out. The approach shot's going to be a little more difficult than it needs to be. 145 out of the rough. I'm tempted to hit a 6-iron here because I just don't think the 7's going to get there. So let's hit the 6-iron. You guys pretty much already know what these clubs look like, so I'm not going to show this one to the camera. And that might be wet. Is that our first dunkaroo? Okay, it stayed up. Thank goodness. We are barely not in the lateral hazard, the red stakes. Just didn't get any compression on that ball. It was just a shitty swing. But as long as you're okay with having shitty swings, you probably aren't going to be too pissed off at golf. All right, let's get up here. That's a bit of a frustrating shot, I won't lie. 16 carry. So we lost quite a bit of carry out of that lie, which is unfortunate. Let's hit another chip shot. And now we got a putt. We're putting. You guys, this live stream's been a little bit longer than I thought it would be. I know I say that a lot. Hopefully everybody's having a fun Mother's Day. Or you already did stuff with your mom and you're all done with that. Little bogey there. Pretty bad approach shot, but as long as you're okay and you know that you're going to occasionally hit a shit shot, you'll be fine. Mick says he's been to New York, America, and there were way too many people. LA was nice. Vegas was great for 3 days. Wouldn't go there any longer. Agreed. Young guys in Australia try to cause fights when they are out. Maybe it's just a Scotland thing, dude, because those kids were just having a great time and they were fucking shit-faced. Mick says if my part in the Air Force didn't matter. Well, I wasn't in the office. I was a mechanic, but I was always stateside. Obviously, after I made enough rank, I was in an office, but I appreciate it. I know what I did was important. And Mick says, have you been to Russia? No, sir, I have not. Foof says howdy. Foof's in the chat. Hey, brother, how are you? Happy Mother's Day. And he says it's been a while. It indeed has. I've got a few holes left here on the live stream, and I'm sick, so I'm running out of steam. But you are welcome to join in as much as you see fit until I end the live stream, sir. Par 4 here, it looks like 285. I don't see any reason to just not try to bomb one up on this green. I'm normally not a bomb and gouge guy, but you got to have a little bit of fun sometimes. You got to get your tits out sometimes, right? I wouldn't say we're hitting driver very well. Walked 18 holes and I'm not feeling well, so that's probably got something to do with it. I'm running out of steam. Okay, we certainly got up there. That wasn't a bad shot at this altitude. At my altitude, that would have gone about 300 yards. To which somebody somewhere is probably saying, who gives a shit about your altitude? We're not at your altitude. To which I say, you're not wrong. I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay, did it go away? 32 yards, 34 yards out of the rough. Simmer. That's a good shot. We might be able to make that putt for a birdie. Mick says him and some of his mates deployed to the Middle East and took a small trip to Russia. Got robbed on the first day by knife point. That fucking sucks, dude. I'm sorry. Said they took their passports and their money. I wouldn't try to rob a 6'5" dude, but to each their own, right? Foof says he's doing good. He didn't expect to see me live today. Yeah, dude, I'm sick, so my mom's like 71 years old, and I'm not going to go around her when I'm sick. It's just kind of fucked up. But I did take some flowers and some candy over to her. You guys, that was a pretty half-assed putt. I should have given it a little bit more attention. It barely went in the hole, though. That's my bad. Mick says I should cut it short if I'm not feeling well. I've only got 5 holes left, dude, and then I am definitely going to go inside and hydrate and have some food. Sorry, I know that's gross. All right, guys, 177-yard par 3 here at Railside Golf Club, hole number 14. We got some water to go over. The pin's at the front of a oblong green, and there's a bunker protecting the left side of the front of the green. But we shouldn't have any trouble with it. Knock on wood. And since the pin's on the front of the green, I need to carry the pin, which is like 175. I'm not sure what club that is for this set. Let's hit a 5-er. Let's hit a 5-iron. I am honestly not sure. Let's close this map. Aim a little bit to the left. A 5-er. Was that another armpit shot? What in the fresh hell is going on here? God damn it. All right, guys. So we were hitting the Mizunos fine, but I'm hitting a lot of armpits with these clubs, which is not the club's fault, it's my fault. Next option, move back. Can we move back to a good lie? We cannot move back to a good lie. So let's drop here, flag line. Of course, we're gonna take a 1-stroke penalty, and we only had 3 strokes to begin with, so that's unfortunate. Let's hit the 58-degree wedge over there to the green. That was a damn fine shot. If the ball will stop, we might be able to make the putt and get out of here with a bogey. Mick says, well, Foof says he got an Odyssey 2-ball center shafted putter. Yeah, I remember we were talking about that. He called Callaway and they told me it was made, he told him it was made in 2004. He gave Callaway the serial number. So that sumbitch is 22 years old, brother. It's a white hot face. Yeah, we looked that club up. It was a good looking club, a sexy club. He says he's waiting on a Super Stroke Zenergy Tour 3.0 grip. Super Stroke, I know a Super Stroke. And Mick says, before you play 18 holes in real life, do I take a few shots in the sim? It depends. If the golf club's close and I won't lose my warm-up before I get there, I'll do that. But if the course is further away and I won't be warm, I'll usually hit a warm-up bucket at the golf course instead of warming up in here. Mick says, do I tee up every ball on the sim? Yeah, in real life when I'm hitting off the tee box, if I'm hitting it on an iron, I use an iron tee, and if I'm hitting my driver, I obviously use a taller driver tee. And I do that in here too. You can't really see it, but I've got a driver tee and an iron tee here, down here on my hitting mat. But yes, they are there. Sometimes I'll hit off the deck if I'm being lazy and I'm tired of bending over, but usually I'll use a tee in here too. All right, there you go. We got a ball wet on that hole though, not in a good way. Foof says his Odyssey putter is still in beautiful condition. I like to see that. I really hate to see clubs, especially older ones, where it looks like somebody used them to hit rocks in a parking lot. That shit pisses me off. You usually don't see that stuff too much except for stuff you get from the pawn shop, fortunately. You guys, I know I can't carry 270 at Michigan level, but I'm going to do it anyway. We've only got a few holes left. 15 is a 350-yard par 4. So let's see if we can get a hold of one, even though the driver swing has absolutely all but gone to shit here. And everything is leaking to the right. I don't know what it is. It's just something that happens in the sim. Sometimes I can get it to go away, other times I can't. That was a good shot. It had the potential, but we found the bunker. 88 yards out of a bunker. What am I thinking here? 88 yards out of the bunker. Let's hit a pitching wedge. We're using the Ping Eye from 78, I think I said. So that's the set we're using now. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. 1978 Ping Eye, and it's 2 through sand wedge. Good shot. We lost a little more distance than I thought. Let's take a look at these numbers real quick. Carry in the simulator software was 90 yards, and carry in GS Pro was 75. That's actually close enough. That's actually close enough to what I think a bunker in GS Pro should subtract from your distance, so I don't mind that. That's pretty accurate. This putt is uphill, 33 feet plus 15 is 48 feet. So we just kind of want to lag it over to the pin. We're using no gimmies, so we need to be close. Not bad. Let's see if we can get out of here with a par. Right edge of the cup, hit a few feet. Move on with your life. And I almost missed that, if you can believe that shit, guys. All right, we're getting closer to the end of the round. Foof says he doesn't understand how putters get beat up faces. I don't either. But to each their own, right? Some people don't care about golf equipment. I remember we had some cheap aluminum baseball bats when we were kids, and we used to hit rocks with them. Like, we didn't give a fuck. People are just dicks, dude. I don't know what else to say. So some people probably don't appreciate vintage golf clubs. They're just like, whatever. I'm going to go buy this thing for 99 cents out of the bargain bin at the pawn shop, and I'm going to hit rocks with it over by the train tracks. Like, I get it. But to guys like us, that's sacrilege, right? Oh, holy hell. 565 yard par 5. We got OB on the left. Hopefully we're nowhere near that. Maybe we're on the fairway. I'm going to hit driver here. The fairway's kind of narrow, so let's just put something out there. Hope everybody's having a good Mother's Day. I realize most of the people that are in my chat and watch my live streams are not mothers, but they probably have a mother or have a wife. So happy Mother's Day. That was a very well struck ball. It is leaking to the right. We're probably going to be in the fairway. No complaints. It went plenty far. I can tell you though that we're going to be hitting a 3-wood from here. My voice is starting to get a little hoarse. We are almost done here, and then I'm going to go hydrate and maybe have some cough medicine. Not quite what I wanted, but that's good enough for government work, I'd say. Foof says, Lion Golf Academy. That's the guy you're talking about, because he's using like junior clubs. They're super cut down. He's using like a 42-inch driver. He's basically using junior clubs, and he's trying to go pro again. Senior tour. He's like 48, 49, 50 years old. But yeah, he's basically a 0 handicap. I already watch his stuff. It's very interesting to me. But yeah, dude, he's actually doing really well. And I like that he's not afraid to try different stuff. He's not like some of these other people that are like, you must use this length of club and you must use this type of club. He's like, I'm going to try these junior clubs. And then it actually worked for him really well. Good shot there. Hopefully it holds the green. I'm not sure if it did. We're in the fairway. There's really no discernible line between the fairway and the green on this course. We'll chip. Just a small chip too, like it can't be much. It's got to be almost nothing. Okay. Certainly ate my words there. We're not making this putt, so we just bought ourselves a bogey. That fucking chip was terrible. 2-11 playing 13. That is so unfortunate. But isn't that indicative of real golf, honestly? Making stupid mistakes on the green side that cost you strokes. This is indicative of real golf. This is not good. There we go. Bogue. Mick says one of the random guys as he was playing with the other day has a handicap of 44. And Mick saw him a couple days later. He said he spent $3,000 on irons. What are they, like Muiras or something? Thinking it will improve his game, silly boy. Yeah, that dude's in for a rude awakening. If I'd have told my wife I was going to spend $3,000 on just irons when I started golfing a couple of years ago, she'd have done this. In America, that means fuck you. Yeah, dude, that stupid asshole. He'll find out, Mick. He's going to find out really quick that those clubs aren't going to do jack shit. All right, we are almost done. 17th hole is a 156-yard par 3. I have the Ping I 7 iron here. That's what I'm going to hit. And hopefully we can get up near that green. But this is that green we were talking about a while ago that's covered with bunkers. Oh, I shanked it. Yeah, guys, I am losing steam. Let's see if we can get out of here. I'll use the same club. We're losing steam quick. Okay. So we just turned a 150-yard hole into probably a bogey or a double bogey. But that shit's going to happen in real life. And you just got to kind of roll with the punches. Don't get angry. You're not good enough at golf to get angry. So we're just sucking balls on this hole. It happens to the best of us. Just every shot sucks. Here we go, you guys. This happens sometimes. We're putting for double bogey, and it's a 25-foot putt. So we're taking a triple bogey on this easy-ass hole. Sometimes it just happens. You roll with it. I don't shank the ball outside though, so that's one difference. I don't know why it happens in here, but there's your 6 on a par 3. Everybody's done it, and now we're on 18. And it couldn't have come too soon because I am out of fucking steam, boys and girls. What do we got in the chat? Yeah, that Lion Golf Academy guy is defying what marketing wants for golf equipment. I think the golf equipment industry is bullshit myself. So, more power to this guy for playing junior clubs. Foof says he's a 36 handicap. His GIN started at 38.1 because they didn't count some of the winter rounds. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I started at, just as long as it's trending down, even if it's by 0.1 or 0.2, if it's not by whole integers, it doesn't matter, just as long as you're having a good time. Foof says the easiest thing is just getting one of those cheap cavity back clone sets and max hybrid woods and a driver and a fat ass mallet putter. This is true, but the golf industry wants people to buy brand new shit. So you can see how this is kind of, you know what I'm saying? They're talking out of both sides of their mouth. Those people probably aren't going to buy used clubs. They're probably going to go do what the guy Mick was talking about did and buy $3,000 clubs. Foof says he can't imagine people trying to play for the first time with 50-year-old blades. Nah. I would get something from the mid-2000s. Just some really affordable set of cavity backs. That's what I would do. Foof says he shanked a chip into his playing partner's bag and it deflected off onto the green. That's not what mine did, but I'm glad that's what yours did. And Foof says he broke 100 at his home course for the first time a few weeks ago. Congratulations, sir. And then Foof says they want you to buy a $3,000 fitted blade set every year and a new $700 driver. Well, yeah, dude, they got shareholders to appease. Of course that's what they want you to do. We can reasonably expect to hit right here on number 18, and then we will decide what we're doing with our approach shots, because this is a long hole, 550 yards. There will be a minimum of 3 shots before we're on the green, unless I nail this drive and then nail like a 3-wood into the green. But I'm out of steam, guys, so that's not happening. Good shot. We're going to be not even close to the green. 280. I realize some people can hit their 3-wood 280. I cannot. That is not a skill I possess. Let's just try to get up here. We've been hitting like really Healy shit with the 3-wood, which is what starts to happen when I get tired. That was actually a good shot. Started off left and it's leaking right. Really decent shot. It's going to be a little bit through the fairway, but that was a good shot, especially for how tired I am right now. Just need to go take some cold medicine, dude. All right, hopefully this is our last shot, and the rest of whatever we do here is putts. but we've got 54 yards, probably playing about 55. And we are in the rough, even though it doesn't look like rough. There we go. We are in the rough. Left, wind's blowing left. Let's aim a little right of the pin and see if we can hit a nice little shot here. Tons of green to play with, no problem. A little too far to the right. Let's 2-putt out for par here, check the stats, and then I'm gonna bid you guys adieu. I gotta go inside and finish getting ready for work. What do we got? A little uphill putt breaking from right to left. It's playing about 17 feet. Maybe we can make this. Nope. Okay, we can probably make this. A couple of feet, I think. All right, we almost missed that shit too, believe it or not. All right, guys, not a bad round. SIGPRO chose this course for us because there was nothing worth a shit to play on SGT. It's Railside Golf Club. I believe it said it was in Michigan, and it's by TechBud. TechBud's one of the best course designers on SIGPRO. Hopefully, if some better software comes out than SIGPRO, TechBud either moves over to that platform entirely or keeps developing for both of them. Scorecard's not exactly what I would call clean, but it looks like the only double bogey we took was on 17, unless I'm mistaken. We had a couple of birdies on the back 9 for a final score of 79 plus 7. Let's look at stats. Stats are about where I normally hang out. I just don't like this one double plus that we had here. 28 putts, 39% greens in regulation, 29% fairways. Decent round, guys. No complaints. That was Railside Golf Club by TechBud. Let's bust back out to the SIGPRO splash screen. Let's check out the chat. And then I am going to jet because I am tired, guys. Ping says he's using a Ping G2 driver. He had the Pro Shop chop a 1/4 inch off his driver, Woods and Hybrid, and it's noticeably easy to control. You golfers will see that if you choke up on your club and you make the club shorter, you'll see that you get a lot more control. You're going to lose a little bit of distance, but it's usually not a bad trade-off. It's those people that won't choke up on their clubs, right? They just can't get it through their head that shorter clubs are more accurate. Foof says he shot a 100 last week because he blew a 4-foot putt on the last hole. We've all been there, brother. Don't beat yourself up about it. And he says that rough is an average fairway on a municipal golf course. And he's not wrong. All right, guys. Happy Mother's Day. Again, it is Sunday, the 10th of May, 2026. I've had a good time. I'm sick. I'm dehydrated, and I need to eat some food. But I had to get more reps in today to meet my quota, my self-imposed quota. So I appreciate you guys tuning into the live stream. Looks like it's been damn near 3 hours. It's 3:30 my time. And Foof says he did not lose any distance on his driver, even though he had it chopped down by a 1/4 inch. You guys, if you want to make your golf clubs easier to hit and you're a mid to high handicap golfer, choke down on them, or maybe go get them cut down. I would try choking down on them first, though, before you go and have any major modifications made to them. Mick is going to Fiji today, so Mick, have a good time. We won't see or hear from Mick for 10 days. And Foof says, get well soon, brother. Thank you, I will. I hope. I hope I don't die from this cold. Do people die from colds? Anyway, I'm not going to die. I'm just fucking around. All right, guys. I will talk to you probably tomorrow. Tomorrow being Monday. We're We're rolling into a 5-day work week. I'm on a 980, but there have to be 5-day work weeks in order for there to be 4-day work weeks. So we'll be okay. We'll make it. Foof says cutting your clubs down is just improved contact, and that helps. 1/4 inch is a pretty small adjustment, but it's a good starting point. And Foof brought something up that I knew he was going to bring up. You can die from pneumonia, which is liquid in the lungs. I don't think I have that. It's just a head cold. So I should see you guys tomorrow. If I don't, you'll just know that I died. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to die of a cold. Guys, I seriously got to go. This live stream's been almost 3 hours. We'll see you in the next one. This has been a Turbo Talon golf production, and you guys have a happy Mother's Day. If you haven't talked to your mother yet, go find her. If your mother's no longer with us, I'm sorry. Go say hi to her graveside or her urn, okay? We'll see you guys later. Have a good one.